Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm Nate Taylor. We're here to winterize your Taylor coach. This is for all the Taylor coach owners and how to winterize. So I'm going to start off the video by emptying out the fresh water tank. The valve is located on the end of the tank. So here, I don't know if the cameraman can see, the valve's here. You just turn it towards the back of the trailer to empty out the tank. Once it's done running out on the ground, then we shut the valve when we're done. So I'll shut the valve again. We have done some getting the video ready. We got to run the pump dry. So you turn your pump on, turn on your tap. I just want to basically see till there's no water coming out of the pump. And that's pretty good. That's usually what you'll see, just a little gurgling and that kind of stuff. That's the pump run dry. Now we're going to go to the outside and empty out the hot water tank. We'll see you outside. Okay, now we're out here on the outside of the trailer. We're going to remove the drain plug in the hot water heater. It's located here right by the gas valve. It's a 15/16 nut. I just use a long ratchet here to remove it. Just be careful here because it can come out fast, and then we're just going to let it drain. Once done draining, we will put the plug back in. We'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, now that the hot water heater's drained, now we're going to put some Teflon stick. I don't like the tape because it can bind on the hot water heater and ruin the threads on this plastic nut because it's a metal tank. I just make sure I coat the threads good. So we'll do it here real quick. I don't know if the cameraman's getting a good shot of it here. So there we go. We got nice and putty. You put it right back here in the placement. The big thing is make sure you don't over tighten the nut because then you could crack it. So we don't want to over tighten it. Bring it in snug. So I just make it snug. I'm not over tightening it. Now that this stage is done, the hot water heater's done. So now we're going to shut the door here on it. We're done with the hot water heater. Now it's going to be putting air into the system to blow it out. There's a few different blow plugs on the market. They all do the same thing. I got a few in my pocket here. I'm just going to use the silver one today, but we have this style and this style here. They all do the same thing, so it doesn't really matter which one you get. It just has to be an RV blow-up plug. We'll set them at the back here. So I'm just going to thread it into my city water here on the outside. Okay, so that's about it here. We're going to put some air to it. So we just hold the air up. You can use a bike pump, a little air compressor. It just takes a little bit because what you're doing is you're filling the hot water tank with air. I usually fill it up to 55 to 60 psi. So here, we'll put some air into it and I'll see you in the inside. Now that I've pressurized the system up to my 50-60 psi outside, and like I said, that's the hot water heater that we filled up with air. I start with my cold tap first, so we'll open it up here. So there'll be a fair bit of water blowing out because there's any water that was left in the bottom of the hot water heater and that kind of stuff. It's getting a lot of water in the cold lines right off the beginning. Now that most of the water's come out, now I'll come back over to my hot tap because right now we're just trying to get the bulk of the water out of the system. Now we've done the hot and cold here in the kitchen. We're going to go into the bathroom and we'll do the hot and cold in the bathroom. Toilet here. And make sure you don't forget your water saver. Some people forget them. And the only other thing that people forget, but this trailer doesn't have, is the outdoor shower. We also have to do the shower head. So we have the shower head here. We've got to turn it on here, get the water out of it. And like I said, and the other thing that a lot of people forget is outdoor shower, because they forget because it's on the outside of the trailer. Now we're going to repressurize the trailer, and I'll be back in a minute. Now that we've repressurized the system, you're going to have to do this step a few times, to the point that you get to this point where there's just almost nothing coming out of the drains. It's just mist. Like, it's to the point that there's nothing. Even in the bathroom taps, you want the same thing. You want to make sure you just have mist coming out of all your taps. You're out your shower too. You just want to make sure you have mist coming out of it. And in the toilet, the same thing. Toilet and the water safer. Mist coming out of it, no water. So we're at the point now. I've blown the system up another 2 more times since last time you seen me, making sure that the water is almost completely out of the system, and that's pumping it back up to 55, 60 psi and opening all your taps. Now that we have all the water out of the system, I don't put antifreeze back in because I feel it takes too long to get the smell and taste out of the water. Even though I don't drink the water out of the system, you still taste it when you're brushing your teeth and all that kind of stuff. So we just put it down the drain. So I have a jug of antifreeze here that I just put down the drains. So you can see here, just a little bit down our sink drain in the bathroom. We put it on top of the toilet seal here so you don't get any smell of the toilet tank. A little bit in our toilet. And a little bit down the top drain. And that just so that the water, as it, not so much for freezing, but as it evaporates, that it still has a seal so you don't get any smell out of your tanks. But that's basically it for winterizing your Taylor coach. It's a pretty easy process. It took me and Bob here to winterize it and make the video 30 minutes. So it's not that long. You just, if it takes you 45 an hour, just take your time. Make sure you get the water out of the system. I do leave the taps open just a crack when I'm done, just so that if there's any water left in the system, it doesn't freeze and hurt your taps. The toilet valve will be fine. If you have any questions, you can call or email us if you need me to add anything to the video. I hope this is helpful and very informative. Like I said, our email is info@taylorcoach.com. Our telephone number is 905-689-6167. It's Nate again on the video, and I hope you have a great winter. Talk to you later. Bye now.